This is not a test.
COVID-19 pandemic is the deadliest in modern history. Yet, as Bartholomew's story shows, some hospitalized COVID-19 patients will say it's fake.
It's not surprising that somebody who's resisted all along would also resist it, at the very end of life as well.
Mark and Eve Whitmore are an academic couple who have been studying pandemic denial. They say what could be happening with Bartholomew's patient is what psychologists call wrongness, a state that occurs with extreme confirmatory bias, in which people make outright wrong decisions, despite receiving an infinite amount of data to the contrary.
Okay, everybody, here we go. We're just going to take a look at some raw statistics here for British Columbia and Canada. I'll provide the links below. So we're just going to look at some basic things here. Number of deaths in Canada in 2020 by province. So we're going to take a look at British Columbia. Right there we got 38,927 total deaths in British Columbia. And we're going to compare that to the number of confirmed deaths of COVID, 331. So you can do the percentage there, 331 divided by 38,000, almost 39,000. Let's take a look at suicides then. So we have 331 deaths from COVID, with COVID, difference between from and with. So we're just going to stick with So anyways, suicides in Vancouver, in British Columbia so far is 408. So total suicides in British Columbia currently is more than COVID-19. What else do we have here? Then we have deaths from fentanyl. So drug overdoses with fentanyl in it. 963 deaths total this year so far in British Columbia. Way more than COVID-19. Way more. 331. And we have locked down the province. We have made face masks mandatory in all indoor public spaces. All for 331 confirmed deaths from COVID-19. Now let's take a look at Canada. Canada, total deaths in Canada from COVID-19, 11,265. Number of people tested, 10,669,000. So you do that you can do a little bit yourself here, you at home. 10 million divided by 11,000. Which you're looking at probably 99.97% along those lines. So as you can see with raw statistics, the deaths are extremely low. The survival rate is extremely high. So if you get so-called COVID-19, chances are 99.99% of you will survive. I think the general age of people dying is around 82 or 85, and usually they also have other issues going on. So right now in BC, you have a better chance of killing yourself or dying from a drug overdose than you have of dying from COVID-19.
This is what it looks like when you breathe 40 times a minute, have an oxygen level that's dipping well below 80. This is what it's going to look like.
Like the more pancakes?
I hope that the last moments of your life don't look like this.
Would you like some more syrup?
Because this is what you'll see at the end of your life if we don't start wearing masks when we're out in public.
An innocent child just passed out because they wore a fucking mask in PE. This, America, is not okay. This is children. This is not okay. I am done. I hope every school board member is listening to this. This is children's life we are talking about and breathing. People get sick every day. When you can't breathe, it's a game changer. Breath is life.
When we don't practice social distancing.
Imagine having this as your sole human contact. That is elder abuse. This is bizarre. This is not scientific. This is a lie. Here's a hugging station. Sorry, that is not normal. That's not normal for a disease with a 99.9% recovery rate. Actually, I'm sorry, I understated it. It's actually 99.997% recovery rate for people under age 20. It's 99.98% for people under age 50. It's 99.5% for people under age 70. Those are statistics from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. And if we were talking about Ebola, sure. Black Plague, sure. But a disease as deadly as, a bad flu season? No.
When we don't wash our hands frequently. Because I promise you, this will be what you see. I promise you, this is what your mother or your father or your children, when they get COVID disease, will see at the end of their life. This is serious. I beg you, please practice the precautions to reduce transmission of COVID disease so that we can effectively prevent disease for you and your loved ones.
Oh, wasn't that scary?
Is the weekly death count that represents all of the deaths in all of Canada over the past 6 years. This is an interactive tool that's been put out by Statistics Canada. This is an official government website. And as you see here, the dotted line represents the year 2020. And as you get to down where we are at today, you will see the death rate is far lower than it has been in the past 6 years. Now, why is this important? Well, just a few days ago, CTV News put out this clip discussing specifically the Canadian death number count. I then put out this expose on BitChute called COVID 1984 Update. Adamson Barbecue defies orders, police back down and refuse to issue fines. And in this video, I use the CTV News clip as a source to explain why the shutting down of Adamson's businesses is completely unjustified. And just get a listen to what I had to say just 2 days ago using this specific CTV News clip as a source. Check this out. Because of this, it's the numbers, it's the fear, it's the mainstream media, and if you really actually pay close attention, take a look at the numbers, guys, and really, let's think about what this means for a second. Listen to this.
Where the virus is finding most of its victims. Today, Quebec promised $100 million for home care and care workers' wages. Since the start of the pandemic, close to 11,000 Canadians have
10,947 deaths.
died, and more than 10,500 of them were sick.
10,781 of those were in long care homes. Guys, here's the important part. That means the total of people in Canada who have died outside of long care homes is 166 people.
Rick, what do you make of that?
I think it's bullshit.
You look at the exemptions, you can see the outdoor cafeterias. The rules are if you're seated, not standing or walking around, and you're eating or drinking, you do not have to wear a mask. So it's almost as though they're suggesting the virus knows when you need to eat and drink and it won't infect you. Does that make sense to you?
Not at all. None of this makes sense, okay? The smart people, the people that critically think, or just take a moment to think for like 2 seconds, should realize that this is not right, this is bullshit. And yeah, it's not like the virus has a brain and says, oh, wait a minute, we're going to not infect you right now, and when you take off your mask and sit down, we're going to infect you. It doesn't make any sense.
And yet, ma'am, I'm looking around, I would say maybe, 95% of the people are compliant. They're wearing these masks in the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about the policy yesterday, and I said, screw it, I'm going to go regardless with my people, and I'm going to hopefully get in, and if I don't, I'm going to try and burst my way in. Like, it's not going to stop me. We need people like us. We need people like me. And just to, like, hold our ground. And hopefully that will create some change and some awareness. But if not, then we're all screwed.
All right, let's take a look at this Flu Watch report. Once again, that's over at Canada.ca. You know, these are stats available to every person here. And we're just going to take a look at the flu over the past year. All indicators of influenza activity remain exceptionally low for this time of year, despite continued monitoring for influenza across Canada. So what we're looking at here is that the flu has basically disappeared, especially since July. A season, according to these stats, is from August 23rd until November 27th. That's what they're kind of looking at here with the influenza season. Week 47 was just recently here, from the mid to end of November. So let's take a look here. To date this season, 23 influenza detections have been reported, which is significantly lower than in the past seasons, where an average of 1,500 influenza detections were reported between weeks 35 and 47. Okay? So that's quite a bit usually. 11 of the influenza detections reported to date this season are known to be associated with recent live influenza vaccines. So we have 23 influenza cases from August 23rd to November 27th. 23. There's usually 1,500. Out of those 23, half of them come from a vaccine. So where did all the flu cases go? Where did they all go? They couldn't have just disappeared. We haven't cured influenza. That's never been talked about. None of the flu vaccines can cure influenza. It's impossible. In fact, you can see here is they actually give influenza, right? So where did all the flus go? Could the doctors, who usually would say that a patient has influenza, could they now be just saying they have COVID instead of influenza? It's a theory. But again, it's curious that the flu is basically non-existent right now. Interesting. Things that make you go, as the old song used to go.
Wow, I didn't realize that it was as bad as it is. I was mistaken. And I should probably tell everybody that I know that
this is not a test.